Hey again, this is the Lunatic from the woods here. Out here in the middle of the woods here, in the trees, deep in the forest here. Not really sure where I am here. Just getting lost in the woods. So yeah, I have a topic. It's do I really need discernment? Can't God just save me? The short answer is no. God, God is not going to save you. You do need some kind of discernment. That being said, I mean, if you do all these spiritual practices and everything, your discernment for everything will start to grow. You'll start to see more in people. You spend time alone. You meditate. I mentioned semen retention a couple times. All those things are spiritual practices, and you will start to develop. There's different levels of that stuff. Like it goes in, a lot of it gets like almost like weird, like almost like you could read people's minds. I had other telepathy things on there, psychic ability. You do almost like develop these things after a while, like if you go really far and really deep into it. I had a couple examples. There's a couple people I met along my little path here through life, and just zero discernment for anything. Just anybody could come into my life, and I just want to be this open, free spirit. It's like, oh yeah, groovy, man. Peace and love. But it's like, I kind of saw it going horribly wrong. These people, like, they invited this like homeless drug addict into their house to live. Well, we were trying to help him out. We were trying to, he was in a rough spot. I just saw that. I didn't say anything because it's not really my spot to say anything. But I just watched and I'm like, okay. Oh, because they're not going to listen to me anyway. I could read that immediately from people. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're not going to listen to what you have to say. They're going to have something in their mind and they're just going to do it. And they don't really care what you have to say. Like I that's something that I notice. Like they have it worked out in their mind. But anyway, like that situation just went horribly wrong. I think the guy ended up getting attacked by the homeless drug addict. But I mean, his heart space was in the right spot. He was trying to help. But, I mean, it could turn into real problems. Like if you have no discernment. There was somebody else that was talking, I think I'm not even sure who it was. Somebody who they knew. I think it was their dad. They're like, well, man, my dad, he did whatever he wanted. And he just chain smoked, just one cigarette after another because he didn't care. He just did what he wanted. He was living life, man. I was like, yeah, groovy. And it's like, don't you think that like smoking, I think he died really early too. I think he was like barely 50 years old. When he was like my age when he died. But I mean, don't you think that that's going to turn into an addiction? And it's just going to spiral into this horrible thing. You're going to be sick every day. You're not going to feel good. don't you think that, like, he probably enjoyed it at first? I mean, that's like another thing, kind of going back to my, the devil has different layers. I mean, that was kind of, the devil will give you some kind of illusionary pleasure at first. But then, oh man, you know, once the devil has you, I have another video on that if you want to check that out. But once that devil has you, man, it could wreak some real havoc. And it'll just be temporary, just enough to get you off the path. You know, just this kind of, you know, all this stuff goes deep. So yeah, I mean, just a little something to be aware of. You know, God's not really going to protect you. I mean, if you are on the path, you're going to develop discernment anyway. I mean, if you're doing righteous things by people, and you know, you're really doing introspection, and you're doing spiritual practice, and you're trying to stay away from these things, you're going to develop discernment automatically. It's automatic. It'll come automatically. So I mean, these people probably weren't really doing much of that. I mean, they were just kind of like blind, you know, wandering out there in the darkness. I mean, it's like, come on, you know, smoking one cigarette after another, that's going to make you horribly ill. And like, yeah, I do agree with the poor. See, that's the thing. Like, you know, with everything, there's kind of like a sparkle of truth in everything. You know, I mean, and there is a sparkle of truth. There is a small percentage of truth in what this guy was saying. But it's like, because he did enjoy it at first. But I don't believe that he enjoyed it all the way till the end. I feel like he enjoyed it at first and he was happy. And then, you know, a little bit down the road, he got horribly sick and it just turned into an addiction that he couldn't stop. And then inviting a homeless drug addict into your home too, that's on a whole another level. but yeah, just I guess my message is just get on the spiritual path. You know, pick a spiritual practice that kind of calls to you. Try to stay away from these things. Spend some time alone. Spend some time in the woods. You know, this discernment will follow automatically. I mean, if you don't have any discernment at all for anything, man, you're in a rough spot. So yeah, that to me, I mean, I've noticed my discernment increased a lot, you know, since I started spiritual practice and everything. And it's not really geared. There is no real technique. You know, it's just something that kind of automatically happens. I feel like spiritual practice just kind of like speeds up your spiritual evolution. Like, even if you don't do it at all, we're all going in the same spot. We're all kind of, you know, you're gonna eventually get there anyway. So yeah, this is the Lunatic from the Woods. Like, comment, and subscribe. The first step in spirituality is journal writing. I put some posts up there. I'll leave a link to one of them that I think is like the better one. So yeah, if that's something you guys want to try, I feel like it helped me along my journey. And you guys have a blessed day. And that is all I have for you. There's a little longer video than normal, but